despite losing the defamation case against her ex-husband. Amber Heard never stopped talking about the case. In fact, the first thing she did after the verdict was posted on her social media and blamed everyone but herself for losing.
When she says, this is an affront to freedom of speech, what's your take on that?
It's not. The problem is that we said this is a very important case for freedom of speech when we started covering it here at the Law and Crime Network. But it's also important that those don't abuse it. People do not abuse the freedom of speech. They don't defame others, especially calling someone who may have been the victim or now the jury says is the victim.
However, it seems like people are done listening to her complaints and are finally calling her out. And when I mean people, I mean literally a lot of personalities in the industry and influencers online. And who knows, this might be more than enough to finally shut her up. So, what are people saying about Amber? And will she finally stop her parade of complaints? Let's find out. Based on the trial, I know everyone is aware of how much Amber loves to complain. I mean, she basically complains about the most trivial things and blames all her downfalls on other people.
That this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
That alone is already a fact, right? Anyways, because of this not very appealing character trait, people are starting to call her out because all she did was add unnecessary noise. This is the complete opposite of her statements during the trial, where she repeatedly said she wanted nothing from Johnny Depp and that all she wished is to move on.
I wanted him to leave me alone. I wanted to move on with my life. And he won't let me. By making statements like this, he won't let me.
Well, people think she's being too obsessed with her ex-husband. Megyn Kelly had also spoken about Amber's statement about the verdict, and she did this not only once but numerous times. In one instance, she pointed out how Heard cried wolf after starting all this mess by alerting TMZ when she filed the restraining order against Johnny Depp. Savannah Guthrie also slammed Amber during her interview with the Today Show. And while people are saying that the show enabled Amber to spin more of her lies, the host actually clapped back at Heard numerous times throughout the interview. For example, how savage was this statement?
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I mean, we all know one of the reasons Johnny won is because his lawyers did a better job compared to Heard's legal team, right? Savannah also called Amber out when she tried to use the First Amendment to back up her complaints about the verdict.
This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't.
This is not the last time the TV host corrected Amber's twisted narrative. In fact, a few CBC anchors took the matter at hand and interjected Elaine Bredehoft whenever she tried to put the blame on Depp. In fact, Gayle King questioned Elaine's line of thinking when she said that Johnny's actor status helped him a lot during the case.
Elaine, I think it was bigger than that because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not believe her. Why do you think they did not believe her?
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
And it's not only not
she's
her.
but she's a celebrity too.
Right.
What kind of logic is that? A lot of influencers also joined in and didn't let Amber off the hook.
You know, Amber Heard said she donated or pledged that $7 million she got from Johnny Depp during the first trial to give to several charities, but that turns out not to be the case. Then she said she spent it on legal fees, which we found out her insurance paid for, and now they're suing her to get that.
We all know how social media exploded during and after the trial, which is why many content creators didn't hesitate to share how much they disagreed with Amber's narrative. Mind you, we're not just talking about normal influencers. Most content creators who have something to say about Amber are lawyers. One of them is Emily Bakers, who is a legal analyst. She addressed Amber's statements about the verdict being a setback for women.
Don't think this is a verdict that sets people back. At the end of the day, it's a defamation verdict. And if you are speaking the truth, then this shouldn't set anyone back.
Of course, a lot of fans are saying the same thing. This fan thinks Amber should really stop saying these misleading statements, saying, as a woman and as a DV survivor, this makes me so happy. Amber needs to be silenced. She lost and lost for good reasons. She lied and made the victims of DV look bad and made women look bad. No one else did that besides her. The mainstream media needs to shut down the claims that this is a bad thing. This is an amazing thing. Justice was served, and Johnny got his credibility back and life back. Let's just hope that this will be enough to make her close her mouth and stop saying anything that comes to her mind. How about you? Make sure to stay tuned for the next video and see you then.